Emma Blackwell ripped the diamond ring from her finger and hurled it across the sacristy floor. Her hands shook violently. Through that door, 200 guests waited. Her father had spent $80,000 on this wedding, and the man she loved had just confessed he only wanted her family's money. She heard every word, every lie, every plan to steal her father's BBQ empire. But Emma didn't run. She didn't cry. She picked up that ring, slid it back on her finger, and smiled. If Tyler Harrison wanted to play games, she would show him how a Blackwell woman plays. Subscribe to our channel and follow Emma's story to the very end. Comment your city below so I can see how far this story travels. Emma Blackwell pressed her back against the cold stone wall of St. Michael's Cathedral. Her wedding dress, all $12,000 of imported Italian lace, bunched awkwardly against the rough surface. She wasn't supposed to be here. She was supposed to be in the bridal suite, taking final photographs with her bridesmaids, but she had forgotten her grandmother's pearl earrings in the sacristy, the something borrowed that would complete her look. Now she wished she had never come back for them. "Relax, Connor. Everything is going according to plan." That was Tyler's voice. Her Tyler. The man she had loved for 3 years. The man who had proposed to her on the shores of Lake Travis at sunset. "I don't know, man. This feels wrong." Connor Walsh, the best man. Emma's heart began to pound. She leaned closer to the partially open door. "Wrong? What's wrong about securing our future?" Tyler laughed, and something in that laugh made Emma's blood run cold. It wasn't the warm, gentle laugh she knew. This was sharp, calculating. "She loves you, Tyler. Emma really loves you." "Of course she does. That's the whole point. Do you think I spent 3 years charming her father for nothing? Do you think I sat through all those boring Sunday dinners, listening to Bobby Blackwell talk about brisket temperatures for fun?" Emma's hand flew to her mouth. Her legs threatened to give out. "What about after the wedding?" That was Derek Manning, the other groomsman. "After? I get access to everything. Bobby already promised to bring me into the business. Once I have signing authority on the accounts, I move some money around, pay off my debts. Then maybe I convince Emma we need to liquidate some assets, invest in new opportunities. And then? Then I disappear with a few $1,000,000, and poor Emma gets her heart broken. Tragic, really." The men laughed, all 3 of them. Emma slid down the wall until she was sitting on the cold floor. Her perfect white dress spread around her like a puddle of spilled milk. 3 years. 3 years of her life given to this man. 3 years of believing in fairy tales and happy endings and love conquering all. All of it was a performance. "What about Vinny Russo?" Connor's voice dropped lower. "He's getting impatient about the money." "Vinny can wait 2 more weeks. Once I'm officially family, I'll have access to the accounts. His $400,000 will be the first thing I pay off." $400,000. Gambling debts. Emma had never even seen Tyler touch a deck of cards. And the other debts? The loan sharks, the credit cards, the back rent on my apartment. All of it totals maybe $600K. Bobby Blackwell is worth at least $15 million. I'm taking scraps, really. When you put it that way. Gentlemen, in 1 hour I become the son-in-law of the most successful restaurant owner in Austin, Texas. By this time next year, I'll be a millionaire, and Emma Blackwell will be yesterday's news. Footsteps approached the door. Emma scrambled to her feet and pressed herself into the shadows behind a heavy velvet curtain. The door swung open. Tyler walked past, close enough for Emma to smell his cologne, the same cologne she had bought him for his birthday. "Coming, boys? Can't keep the bride waiting." They left, their voices fading down the corridor toward the main church. Emma emerged from behind the curtain. Her reflection in the sacristy mirror showed a ghost, pale skin, hollow eyes, mascara smudged where a single tear had escaped. She wiped it away viciously. "No," she said to her reflection. "You will not cry for him." Her phone buzzed. A text from her sister Lily. "Where are you? Mom is freaking out. The photographer wants to do the first look in 10 minutes." Emma stared at the message. Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. She could tell Lily everything right now. Call off the wedding. Watch Tyler's face as his plan crumbled. But then what? He would deny everything. Connor and Derek would back him up. It would be her word against theirs. Tyler would play the wounded fiancé. Her mother would blame wedding stress. Her father would try to smooth things over. And Tyler would move on to his next victim. Emma thought about the girl in Denver that Lily had mentioned once, casually. A broken engagement no one talked about. Tyler had seemed uncomfortable when it came up. How many women had he done this to? How many more would he hurt if Emma simply walked away? She looked at the ring on her finger. 2 carats, princess cut. Tyler had insisted on buying it himself, had made a big show of saving up for months. Now Emma understood. It was probably purchased on a credit card he never intended to pay. Her phone buzzed again. "Emma Catherine Blackwell, answer me right now or I'm coming to find you." Emma typed quickly. "Coming. Had to fix my makeup. Don't tell Mom." She took one more look in the mirror. The ghost was gone. In its place stood something harder, sharper. If Tyler Harrison wanted to play games with the Blackwell family, Emma would teach him exactly how Blackwells play. She walked out of the sacristy, her head high, her smile perfect. The wedding coordinator rushed toward her. "Miss Blackwell, we've been looking everywhere. The ceremony starts in 45 minutes. "I know. I'm ready." "Your father is waiting to walk you down the aisle. He's been practicing his speech all morning. So nervous." Emma's heart clenched. Her father, Bobby Blackwell, had worked his whole life to build something for his family. Started as a dishwasher at 16, bought his first food truck at 25, now owned 5 restaurants and employed over 200 people. And Tyler was going to steal it all. Not if Emma had anything to say about it. "Where's Lily?" Emma asked. "Your sister? She went to check on the flowers, I think." Emma found Lily in the corridor near the entrance, arguing with a florist about the placement of peonies. The arrangement was supposed to cascade to the left, not the right. Do you know the difference between left and right? "Lily." Her sister turned, her face transforming from irritation to relief. "Emma, finally, where have you been? Mom sent Dad to check the parking lot. She thought you might have run away." "I need to talk to you." "Now? The ceremony?" "Right now." Something in Emma's voice stopped Lily cold. The younger Blackwell sisters studied her face, her lawyer's instincts clearly kicking in. "What happened?" Emma pulled Lily into a small alcove away from the bustling wedding preparations. "I need you to listen to everything I'm about to tell you without interrupting. Can you do that?" Lily nodded slowly. Emma told her. Every word she had overheard. The debts, the plan, the $400,000 owed to someone named Vinnie Russo, the history of broken engagements, all of it. When she finished, Lily's face had gone from confusion to shock to cold, controlled fury. "I'm going to kill him," Lily said flatly. "No, you're not." "Emma, we have to stop the wedding, right now. I'll get Dad." "No." Lily stared at her. "No, he's going to rob our family." "Only if I let him." Emma gripped her sister's hands. "Lily, think about it. If I call off the wedding now, what happens? Tyler gets exposed as a fraud." "Does he?" "It's my word against his. Connor and Derek will back him up. Tyler will cry, apologize, say I misunderstood. Mom will be devastated. Dad will be embarrassed in front of all his business partners. And Tyler walks away to find his next victim. Lily's jaw tightened as she processed this. But if I marry him, Emma continued, I control the situation. I know what he's planning. I can set traps, gather evidence, make sure he goes to prison, not just loses a fiancé. Emma, you can't seriously be considering. I'm not considering it. I'm doing it. This is insane. You want to marry a man who's planning to steal from you? I want to destroy a man who thinks I'm too stupid to stop him. Emma's voice was steel. Tyler Harrison has been planning this for 3 years. I've had 30 minutes. And I'm already 3 steps ahead of him. Lily was quiet for a long moment. Then, slowly, she nodded. What do you need from me? Information. You have access to legal databases through school, right? I need everything you can find on Tyler James Harrison. Debts, lawsuits, previous engagements, criminal records, everything. I can do that. And Lily? Don't tell Mom and Dad. Not yet. Emma, Dad has worked his entire life for this family. I won't let him find out his future son-in-law is a con man on what's supposed to be the happiest day of his daughter's life. When we expose Tyler, we do it on our terms, with evidence, with a plan. Lily hugged her fiercely. You're either the bravest person I know or the craziest. Maybe both. The wedding coordinator's voice echoed down the corridor. 5 minutes! Everyone to their positions! Emma pulled back from her sister and smoothed her dress. How do I look? Lily studied her face. Like a bride? Good. Let's go get married. The music began. Wagner's bridal chorus swelled through the cathedral as 200 guests rose to their feet. Emma took her father's arm at the entrance to the nave. Bobby Blackwell looked at his daughter with tears in his eyes. "Ma princess," he said, his Texas drawl thick with emotion. "You look just like your mother did 30 years ago." Emma's heart ached. Her father, this good man who had given her everything, who trusted Tyler like a son. She wanted to tell him the truth so badly. Instead, she smiled and squeezed his arm. "Don't make me cry, Daddy. I'll ruin my makeup." Bobby chuckled and patted her hand. "Ready?" "Ready." They began the long walk down the aisle. Emma kept her eyes fixed on the altar, where Tyler waited in his perfectly tailored tuxedo. He was handsome, she had to admit. Sandy blonde hair swept back from a face that belonged on a magazine cover. Blue eyes that sparkled with warmth and humor. A smile that made women swoon and men trust him. All fake. Every bit of it. As she drew closer, Emma could see Connor and Derek standing behind Tyler. Connor looked nervous, constantly adjusting his cufflinks. Derek stared at the floor, unable to meet her eyes. At least one of them had a conscience. Interesting. She reached the altar. Bobby kissed her forehead and placed her hand in Tyler's. "Take care of my girl," Bobby said, his voice gruff with emotion. "I will, sir. I promise." The lie fell so easily from Tyler's lips. Emma marveled at his skill. 3 years of lies, and she had never suspected a thing. Father Morrison began the ceremony. Emma barely heard the words. She was too focused on Tyler's face, searching for any crack in his performance. There was none. He gazed at her with what appeared to be genuine love. His hand in hers was warm and steady. When he spoke his vows, his voice trembled with emotion. "Emma, you are my everything. My past, my present, my future. I promise to love you, honor you, and cherish you for as long as I live." Beautiful words, completely meaningless. Emma's turn. She looked into Tyler's eyes and saw, for the first time, the emptiness behind them. How had she missed it before? "Tyler," she said, her voice clear and steady. "Our relationship has taught me so much about trust, about giving my heart completely to another person. Standing here today, I can honestly say I know who you truly are." Something flickered in Tyler's eyes, a momentary uncertainty. "I know your dreams," Emma continued, "your fears, your deepest ambitions, and I promise to be by your side through whatever challenges we face together." Tyler's smile returned, but Emma noticed his hand had grown slightly damp in hers. "By the power vested in me," Father Morrison announced, "I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." Tyler leaned in and kissed her. 3 years ago, this kiss would have made Emma's heart soar. Now, she felt nothing but cold determination. The guests erupted in applause. Rice and flower petals rained down as Emma and Tyler walked back down the aisle as husband and wife. Outside the cathedral, the photographer positioned them for pictures. Emma smiled on command, laughed on cue, played the radiant bride with an actress's precision. "You two are perfect together," the photographer gushed. "Such natural chemistry." "We've had a lot of practice," Tyler said, pulling Emma close for another shot. Yes, Emma thought, you've had a lot of practice. During a break in the photos, Lily approached with her phone in hand. "The florist needs your approval on the reception centerpieces," she said loudly enough for Tyler to hear. Emma caught her sister's eye. Lily gave an almost imperceptible nod. "I'll be right back, honey," Emma told Tyler, kissing his cheek. In a quiet corner of the cathedral garden, Lily showed her the phone screen. "I made some calls. You were right. Tyler was engaged to a woman in Denver 18 months ago. The father discovered he was lying about his job and called it off." "What else?" "He owes money to at least 4 different creditors that I can find, not counting the gambling debts." "How much total?" Lily hesitated. "Preliminary estimate? Close to $800,000. Emma closed her eyes briefly. 800,000. Tyler Harrison was not just a con man. He was a desperate one. "There's more," Lily said quietly. "The name you mentioned. Vinny Russo. He runs underground poker games in Houston. High stakes. His reputation is not pleasant." "Meaning?" "Meaning people who don't pay Vinny Russo tend to have accidents." Emma absorbed this information. Tyler wasn't just trying to steal from her family. He was running for his life. It didn't excuse anything, but it explained the desperation she had heard in his voice, the urgency to move quickly. "Keep digging," Emma told Lily. "I want to know everything about everyone he owes money to." "Emma, this is getting dangerous." "I know. That's why we need to be smart." She returned to Tyler's side for more photographs. He wrapped his arm around her waist, playing the devoted husband. "Everything okay?" he asked. "You look tense." "Just overwhelmed. So many people, so many details." "Don't worry, baby. After today, it's just us. We can finally start our life together." "Our life," Emma thought. "You mean your plan." "I can't wait," she said, and smiled for the camera. The reception was held at the Driscoll Hotel, the most prestigious venue in Austin. 300 guests filled the grand ballroom, drinking champagne and congratulating the happy couple. Emma circulated through the crowd, accepting hugs and well wishes. Everyone told her how lucky she was, what a catch Tyler was, how perfect they looked together. She wondered how many of them would believe the truth. During cocktail hour, she noticed Tyler in deep conversation with Connor and Derek by the bar. Their expressions were serious. Connor kept glancing around nervously. Emma drifted closer, pretending to admire a floral arrangement. "She was acting weird during the vows," Connor was saying. That thing about knowing who you truly are? What was that about? She was being romantic, Tyler said dismissively. Women say things like that at weddings. I don't know, man. The way she looked at you. Connor, relax. Emma is completely in love with me. She has no idea about anything. What about her sister? That Lily girl keeps watching you, like you're a suspect in a crime. Tyler laughed. Lily is suspicious of everyone. She's a law student. It's what they do. Emma moved away before they could notice her presence. So Tyler was confident, arrogant. He thought she was too blinded by love to see the truth. Good. Let him think that. Let him underestimate her. Derek Manning separated from the group and headed toward the bathroom. Emma intercepted him in the corridor. Derek, having a good time? Derek's face went pale. Mrs. Harrison, Emma. Yes, great party. You seem nervous. Just not used to such fancy events. He tried to laugh. It came out strangled. Emma stepped closer. Derek, can I ask you something? Sure. How long have you known about Tyler's plan? Derek's face went from pale to white. His mouth opened and closed. No words came out. I heard everything, Emma said quietly. In the sacristy, before the ceremony. Emma, I swear, I tried to talk him out of it. I told him it was wrong. But you didn't warn me. Derek looked at the floor. He's my friend. We've known each other since college. I didn't know what to do. And now? What are you going to do now? Derek finally met her eyes. There was genuine anguish there. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Emma studied him for a long moment. Derek was weak, but he wasn't evil. He had a conscience, even if he lacked the courage to follow it. I'm not going to expose you tonight, she said. But I want you to remember this conversation. When the time comes, and it will come, you'll have a choice to make. What kind of choice? Between protecting Tyler and doing the right thing. She turned and walked away, leaving Derek alone with his guilt. The dinner service began. Emma sat at the head table between Tyler and her father, eating food she couldn't taste, making conversation she couldn't remember. Bobby Blackwell stood to give the first toast. Friends, family, thank you for being here on this special day. Emma has always been the light of our family, a sweet, smart, beautiful girl who grew into an incredible woman. Tears gathered in Emma's eyes, real ones this time. Tyler, you're getting the best daughter a man could ask for. Take care of her, love her, make her happy. I will, sir, Tyler said, standing to shake Bobby's hand. I promise. More lies, more performances. Tyler gave his own toast. He spoke about meeting Emma at a charity gala, how her smile lit up the room, how he knew instantly that she was the one. All scripted, all calculated. Emma remembered that gala now. Tyler had spilled champagne on her dress. He had been so apologetic, so charming, insisting on paying for the cleaning. Just like the coffee in the food court. A practiced routine. How many women had he approached that way? To my beautiful wife, Tyler concluded, raising his glass. The best thing that ever happened to me. Everyone drank. Emma touched the champagne to her lips without swallowing. The first dance began. Tyler led her to the center of the floor as their song played, something by Ed Sheeran. Emma had chosen it because she thought it was romantic. Now it made her sick. You're quiet tonight, Tyler murmured as they swayed. Everything okay? Just taking it all in. It's a lot. I know what you mean, but this is just the beginning, Emma. Our whole future is ahead of us. What kind of future do you see? Tyler smiled that charming smile. A house in Westlake? Kids, eventually? Maybe I'll help expand your dad's business. Open restaurants in Houston, Dallas. We could build an empire. An empire built on her family's money and his lies. That sounds wonderful, Emma said. It will be. Trust me. Trust. The word almost made her laugh. After the dance, Emma excused herself to use the restroom. In the privacy of a locked stall, she allowed herself 30 seconds of tears. For the relationship she thought she had. For the man she thought Tyler was. For the naive girl who had believed in love at first sight. Then she dried her eyes, fixed her makeup, and went back to her wedding reception. She had work to do. The party continued late into the night. By midnight, most of the older guests had left. The younger crowd filled the dance floor, fueled by an open bar and youthful energy. Tyler was drunk. Not sloppy drunk, but enough to lower his guard. He pulled Emma onto his lap at the head table, nuzzling her neck. "Have I told you how gorgeous you are?" "Several times." "Well, here's another one. You're gorgeous. And rich. I hit the jackpot." He laughed at his own joke. Emma's blood ran cold, but she kept smiling. "The jackpot, huh? The most beautiful woman in Austin, and she's all mine." Mine. Like she was property, a prize to be won. "I need to get some air," Emma said, standing. "Don't be long. I want to go to the honeymoon suite soon." Tyler waggled his eyebrows suggestively. Emma walked onto the hotel terrace, the cool night air a relief after the stuffy ballroom. The Austin skyline glittered before her, indifferent to her turmoil. Lily found her there 10 minutes later. "You okay?" "No, but I will be." Lily stood beside her, looking out at the city. "I got more information. Tyler tried this same thing with at least 2 other women before you. Maybe more." "Did any of them marry him?" "No, they all figured it out in time." Lily paused. "You're the first one who went through with it." "Because I'm the first one with a plan." "Emma, are you sure about this? It's not too late to just walk away. We can get the marriage annulled. You never have to see him again." Emma turned to her sister. "And then what? He moves on to the next family? The next trusting woman? The next set of parents who just want to see their daughter happy?" "That's not your responsibility." "Maybe not, but it's my choice." Lily sighed. "What's the next step?" "Tomorrow, Tyler is going to ask me for money. He'll have some story about old debts, maybe 20 or 30,000. I'm going to give it to him." "You're going to give a con man money?" "I'm going to give a con man enough rope to hang himself." Emma turned back to the skyline. "He wants access to my family's business. I'm going to give him exactly that. And when he tries to steal from us, I'll have all the proof I need to send him to prison." "How long will this take?" "As long as necessary. Days, weeks, however long it takes to gather enough evidence." Lily shook her head slowly. "You're playing a dangerous game, Emma." "I know, but I'm going to win." The reception finally ended at 2 in the morning. Tyler was more drunk than Emma had ever seen him, stumbling slightly as they walked to the honeymoon suite. "Best day of my life," he slurred, fumbling with the key card. "Best day ever." Emma helped him through the door. The suite was massive, filled with roses and champagne, and a bed covered in silk sheets. 3 months ago, she had imagined their wedding night with such hope, such anticipation. Now she felt only cold resolve. "Tyler, I'm exhausted. Can we just sleep tonight?" He looked disappointed but was too drunk to argue. "Fine, tomorrow then." He collapsed on the bed, still in his tuxedo. Within minutes he was snoring. Emma stood by the window, looking out at Austin's lights. Her reflection stared back at her, still in her wedding dress, still wearing the ring. Mrs. Tyler Harrison. The name made her want to scream. But she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't run. Emma Catherine Blackwell was going to destroy the man who had tried to destroy her family, and she was going to enjoy every minute of it. She pulled out her phone and sent a text to Lily. Phase 1 complete. The game has begun. The morning sun cut through the curtains of the honeymoon suite. Emma had not slept. She sat in the armchair by the window, still wearing her wedding dress, watching Tyler snore on the silk sheets. Her phone buzzed. Lily. I found more. Call me when you can. Tyler stirred, groaned, and pressed his palm against his forehead. God, how much did I drink last night? Enough, Emma said flatly. He squinted at her. Why are you still in your dress? Did we not? You passed out. Tyler sat up slowly, rubbing his temples. Sorry, baby. I'll make it up to you tonight. Don't worry about it. He studied her face. You okay? You seem off. Emma forced a smile. Just tired. It was a long day. The longest. Tyler swung his legs off the bed and stumbled toward the bathroom. I need a shower. Then we should talk about something important. Here it comes, Emma thought. The first request for money. She waited until she heard the water running, then called Lily. What did you find? Tyler's employment history. He told you he works at Morrison Financial Group, right? Yes. He was fired 6 months ago, suspected of embezzlement, but they couldn't prove it, so they let him go quietly. Emma closed her eyes. So he's been unemployed this whole time, living off credit cards and small loans. Emma, he's been bleeding money for months. The gambling debts alone are crushing him. What about Vinny Russo? That's where it gets scary. Russo runs a network of underground poker games, high stakes, very exclusive, and very, very dangerous. How dangerous? Lily paused. A man who owed him $50,000 disappeared last year. They found his car in the Trinity River. Never found him. Emma's stomach turned. Tyler owes him $400,000. Which is why he's desperate. Emma, this isn't just about money anymore. Tyler is running for his life. That doesn't excuse what he's doing. No, but it explains why he's moving so fast. He doesn't have time to be patient. The bathroom door opened. Emma hung up quickly. Tyler emerged with a towel around his waist, water dripping from his hair. 3 years ago, Emma would have found him irresistible. Now she saw only the predator beneath the pretty surface. Who are you talking to? Lily. She wanted to make sure we got back to the room okay. Sweet of her. Tyler sat on the edge of the bed, his expression shifting to something more serious. Emma, I need to talk to you about something. What is it? He took her hands in his, the same gesture he had used when he proposed, the same practiced sincerity in his eyes. You know I love you more than anything, right? Of course. And I would never keep secrets from you. The irony was almost unbearable. Tyler, what's going on? He sighed heavily. I have some debts, old ones, from before we met. I thought I had them under control, but some people are getting impatient. What kind of debts? Student loans mostly. Some credit cards. Nothing crazy, but it's been stressing me out. Student loans, credit cards. Not a word about gambling. Not a word about Vinny Russo. How much? Emma asked. Tyler hesitated. About 30,000. 30,000. He owed 800,000 and was asking for 30. That's a lot of money, Tyler. I know, and I hate asking you this on our first day as husband and wife. But I was thinking, since we're married now, maybe we could consolidate our finances, pay off these old debts and start fresh. Emma pretended to consider this. A joint account? Exactly. That way we can manage everything together. As a team. Team. The word made her sick. I can transfer some money to help with the debts, Emma said slowly. But Tyler, 30,000 is serious. Are you sure there's nothing else you're not telling me? His face remained perfectly composed. That's everything, baby. I promise. Promise. Another lie stacked on a mountain of lies. Okay, I'll talk to my bank tomorrow. Tyler's relief was visible. His shoulders relaxed. His smile returned. Thank you, Emma. You have no idea what this means to me. Oh, I have some idea, she thought. He pulled her into a hug, and Emma allowed herself to be held by the man who was planning to destroy her family. I love you so much, Tyler whispered. I love you too, Emma replied. The words tasted like poison. That afternoon, they returned to Emma's apartment. Tyler had moved in 2 weeks before the wedding, but most of his belongings were still in boxes. I should unpack the rest of my stuff, he said, surveying the living room. Make this place feel like ours. Sure. I'm going to run some errands. Do you need anything? Just you. He kissed her forehead. Hurry back. Emma grabbed her purse and left. But she didn't run errands. She drove to the University of Texas campus, where Lily was waiting at a coffee shop near the law school. You look terrible, Lily said as Emma sat down. I haven't slept in 36 hours. You need to rest. You can't keep this up. I'll rest when Tyler is in prison. Emma pulled out her phone. What else did you find? Lily slid a folder across the table. The Denver engagement. The woman's name is Rachel Morrison. Her father is a real estate developer, worth about $20 million. What happened? Tyler met her at a charity event. Sound familiar? They dated for 8 months. He proposed. 2 weeks before the wedding, her father hired a private investigator. And? The PI found everything. The fake job, the debts, the previous relationships with wealthy women. Mr. Morrison confronted Tyler directly, told him to disappear or face criminal charges. So Tyler just walked away? He didn't have a choice. But here's the interesting part. Lily pointed to a page in the folder. Rachel Morrison isn't the first. There was a woman in Phoenix before her, and one in San Diego before that. Emma's blood ran cold. How many? At least 4 that I can confirm, maybe more. Tyler Harrison has been running this con for almost 5 years. 5 years. 4 women. Millions of dollars in potential theft. Has he ever been arrested? Never. The family's always handled it quietly. They didn't want the scandal. Which is exactly what he's counting on. Emma closed the folder. He thinks if he gets caught, we'll just pay him off and make him go away. Won't you? No. Emma's voice was steel. I'm going to make sure he pays for every woman he's ever hurt. Lily leaned back in her chair. How? You still don't have any concrete evidence. I will. He asked me for $30,000 this morning. I'm going to give it to him. Emma. And then I'm going to give him more. As much as he asks for. Every transaction will be documented. Every lie recorded. That could take weeks. I know. But Tyler is desperate. He'll move faster than he planned. He has to. Vinnie Russo won't wait forever. Lily shook her head. This is crazy. You know that, right? Maybe, but it's working. When Emma returned to the apartment, Tyler was on the phone, speaking in hushed tones. He hung up quickly when she walked in. Hey, baby, that was fast. Who was that? Just Connor. He wanted to thank us for the wedding. Another lie. Emma had seen the fear on Tyler's face when she entered. That wasn't a thank you call. Everything okay? She asked innocently. Perfect. Everything is perfect. That night, Emma lay awake while Tyler slept beside her. She could hear his breathing, slow and steady, the breathing of a man without conscience. Her phone glowed in the darkness. A text from an unknown number. Mrs. Harrison, we should talk about your husband's debts. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. Cafe Luna on Congress Avenue. Come alone. Emma's heart pounded. Vinnie Russo had found her. She should be terrified. Instead, she felt something unexpected. Opportunity. The next morning, Tyler announced he was going to visit her father at the office. Bobby mentioned he wanted to show me the books, get me up to speed on the business. Emma nodded. That's great, honey. I'm sure you'll impress him. I plan to. Tyler kissed her cheek. What are you doing today? Lunch with some girlfriends. Maybe some shopping. Sounds fun. I'll see you tonight. As soon as Tyler left, Emma called Lily. I need you to come with me somewhere. Where? I'm meeting Vinnie Russo. Are you out of your mind? He contacted me last night. He wants to talk about Tyler's debts. Emma, this man is dangerous. People who owe him money disappear. People who can't pay disappear. I can pay. That's not the point. Lily, this is an opportunity. Russo knows everything about Tyler's debts, everything about his gambling history. If I can get him to cooperate, I'll have all the evidence I need. Lily was silent for a long moment. I'm coming with you. No, he said to come alone. Then I'll wait outside, but I'm not letting you walk into that meeting without backup. At 1:45 p.m., Emma entered Cafe Luna. The place was small and quiet, half empty in the mid-afternoon lull. A man in his 40s sat at a corner table. Gray hair, weathered face, dressed in khakis and a golf shirt. He looked like someone's suburban dad, not a loan shark. Mrs. Harrison, he stood and extended his hand. Vincent Russo, please, sit. Emma sat across from him, her heart racing, but her face calm. Thank you for meeting me, Russo said. Can I get you something? Coffee? Tea? I'm fine. Straight to business, then. I like that. Russo folded his hands on the table. Your husband owes me a significant amount of money. How much? $412,000, plus interest. Emma didn't flinch. That's a lot. It is, and Tyler has been very creative in avoiding payment. But now that he's married into the Blackwell family, well, Russo smiled. I figured we might be able to work something out. What kind of arrangement? Simple. You pay the debt, I disappear from Tyler's life. Everyone's happy. And if I don't pay? Russo's smile faded. Then things get complicated. For Tyler, and possibly for you. Emma leaned forward. Mr. Russo, can I be honest with you? Please. I know what Tyler is. I know he married me for my family's money. I know about the women in Denver, Phoenix, and San Diego. I know everything. Russo raised an eyebrow. And yet you married him anyway. Because I want to destroy him. The loan shark studied her face for a long moment. Then slowly, he smiled. Interesting. Tell me more. Emma laid out her plan. The evidence gathering. The trap she was setting. The prison sentence she wanted Tyler to face. Russo listened without interrupting. So you want me to help you put my own debtor in prison? He said when she finished. I want you to help me get justice. In return, I'll pay Tyler's debt in full. And what do I get besides money? The satisfaction of seeing a con man face real consequences. Something tells me that appeals to you. Russo laughed. You're smarter than Tyler realized. Most women are. Fair point. He considered for a moment. What do you need from me? Keep pressuring Tyler. Make him desperate. The more scared he is, the faster he'll move, and the more mistakes he'll make. That I can do. And I need documentation. Every loan, every missed payment, everything you have on his gambling history. That's a lot to ask. I'm paying $400,000. I think that buys me some paperwork. Russo nodded slowly. You've got nerve, Mrs. Harrison. I'll give you that. My name is Blackwell. I only took his name to get close enough to destroy him. For the first time, genuine respect flickered in Russo's eyes. All right, Mrs. Blackwell, you have a deal, but I want the money within 2 weeks. You'll have it within 1. They shook hands. Emma walked out of the cafe, feeling more powerful than she had since the sacristy. Outside, Lily was waiting in her car, pale with worry. Well? Emma got in and closed the door. We have an ally. An ally? Emma, that man is a criminal. He's a businessman, and right now his interests align with mine. This is insane. No, this is chess, and Tyler doesn't even know we're playing. That evening, Tyler came home buzzing with excitement. Your father is amazing, Emma. The way he built this business from nothing, the systems he's put in place. It's incredible. I'm glad you're learning. He even mentioned putting me on some accounts, giving me signing authority for smaller transactions. Emma's pulse quickened. This was moving faster than she expected. That's wonderful, honey. I told him I wanted to prove myself first. Show him I could handle responsibility. Very smart. Tyler pulled her close. This is going to work, Emma. Everything we've dreamed of. It's all coming together. You have no idea, she thought. 2 days later, Emma transferred $50,000 to Tyler's account. He had asked for 30. She gave him more. Emma, this is too much, he protested weakly. I want you to be completely debt-free. Start fresh. You're incredible. I don't deserve you. That's the first true thing you've said. The money disappeared within 48 hours. Lily tracked it. $10,000 to a credit card company, $20,000 to a loan shark, $15,000 to Vinnie Russo, the rest to another gambling site. Tyler didn't pay off his debts. He paid off the most dangerous creditors and kept gambling. He's an addict, Lily said when she showed Emma the records. He can't stop even when he's winning. Good. Let him dig his grave deeper. The following week, Tyler asked for more. There were some expenses I forgot about, he explained. Some old medical bills. Maybe another $20,000? Emma gave him 40. This time, she watched him more carefully. Late at night, when he thought she was asleep, Tyler would disappear into the bathroom with his phone. She could hear him whispering, the sound of apps clicking. Online poker. He was gambling while she lay in the next room. One night, she heard something else. Fear in his voice. I told you I'd have it by Friday. I just need more time. A pause. No, please, don't do that. I can get the money, I swear. Another pause. Yes, I understand. Friday, I won't miss it. Tyler emerged from the bathroom looking like a ghost. He didn't notice Emma watching through half-closed eyes. He was running out of time. The next morning, Tyler approached Bobby at the office with a new proposal. I've been looking at the Austin market, he said, spreading papers across Bobby's desk. There's an opportunity to acquire a smaller chain. 3 locations. Distressed sale. We could double our footprint for minimal investment. Bobby studied the documents. This would require significant capital. About $200,000, but the return could be 10 times that within 5 years. Where did you find this opportunity? Industry contacts. People I know from my finance days. Bobby stroked his chin thoughtfully. I'd need to run this by my accountant. Do my own due diligence. Of course. I just wanted to bring it to your attention first. I appreciate that, Tyler. You're showing real initiative. Emma heard about this conversation that evening when her father called. Your husband has big ideas, Bobby said. Is that good or bad? I'm not sure yet. He seems eager. Maybe too eager. What do you mean? The deal he proposed. It looks legitimate on paper, but something feels off. I can't put my finger on it. Emma's heart raced. Her father's instincts were kicking in. Dad, do me a favor. Don't agree to anything yet. Let me look into it. You? Since when are you interested in business deals? Since I married a man who might be too good to be true. There was a long silence on the other end. Emma? Is something wrong? She wanted to tell him everything. The weight of the secret was crushing her. I don't know yet, Dad. Just promise me you'll be careful. I'm always careful, Princess. But you're scaring me. I know, I'm sorry. Just trust me a little longer. She hung up and found Tyler standing in the doorway, watching her. Who was that? My dad. He wanted to thank me for sending him your proposal. Tyler's expression flickered. You talked to him about the deal? He mentioned it, said he was impressed by your initiative. Relief flooded Tyler's face. Really? That's great. I was worried he might think I was overstepping. You're family now. Family doesn't overstep. Tyler crossed the room and wrapped his arms around her. I love you, Emma. I know I don't say it enough. You say it plenty. But do I show it? I feel like I've been so focused on work, on proving myself, that I haven't been present with you. This was new. Tyler sounding almost genuine, almost vulnerable. What brought this on? He pulled back slightly, looking into her eyes. I guess I'm just realizing how lucky I am. You gave me $50,000 without blinking. You support my ideas. You believe in me when nobody else does. Emma's chest tightened. For a moment, a tiny moment, she saw something human behind Tyler's mask. Then she remembered the conversation she'd overheard in the sacristy, the cold calculation in his voice, the plans to steal from her family and discard her when he was done. Whatever humanity Tyler Harrison once possessed, he had sold it long ago. I believe in us, Emma said softly. That's what marriage is about. You're right. You're always right. He kissed her forehead. I'm going to make you proud, Emma. I promise. Another promise he had no intention of keeping. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She lay in the darkness, listening to Tyler breathe, thinking about the trap she was building. She had transferred $90,000 to him in 2 weeks. All of it documented, all of it tracked. Russo was sending her records of Tyler's gambling debts and payment history. Lily had compiled files on his previous engagements. Derek Manning had started answering her texts, clearly desperate to unburden his conscience. The evidence was mounting. But she needed something bigger, something undeniable. She needed Tyler to steal directly from the company. And she knew exactly how to make that happen. The next morning, Emma called her father.
Dad, I've been thinking about Tyler's proposal.
And?
I think you should consider it.
Really? Yesterday you told me to be careful.
I know, but I talked to Tyler last night. He explained the opportunity more clearly. It sounds solid.
Emma, what's going on? First you're worried, now you're supportive. You're giving me whiplash here.
I just want to give my husband a chance to prove himself. Isn't that what you've always taught me? Give people the benefit of the doubt?
Bobby was quiet for a moment. All right, I'll review the proposal more seriously. But if anything seems off, I'm pulling the plug.
Fair enough.
And Emma?
Yes?
If there's something you're not telling me, I hope you know you can trust me. The words pierced her heart.
I know, Dad. I love you.
I love you too, Princess. Emma hung up and stared at her phone. She was using her father as bait. The man who had given her everything. The man who trusted her completely. But it was the only way. Tyler had to believe the door was open. He had to feel confident enough to walk through it. And when he did, Emma would be waiting. 3 days later, Bobby called Tyler into his office. "I've reviewed your proposal," Bobby said. "It has merit." Tyler leaned forward eagerly.
Really? That's great news, sir.
"I want to move forward with a smaller test first. I'll authorize you to handle a $100,000 transaction. See how you manage the accounts."
100,000?
Is that a problem?
No, not at all. I just didn't expect you to trust me with that much so soon.
Bobby smiled. "You're family now, Tyler. Family trusts each other." Tyler's hand shook slightly as he accepted the paperwork.
Thank you, sir. I won't let you down.
I know you won't. That evening, Tyler was electric with excitement.
Emma, your father gave me access to $100,000. Do you know what this means? It means he believes in you.
It means everything. I can finally prove myself, show him what I'm capable of. Emma watched her husband pace the living room, his eyes bright with hunger. He wasn't thinking about proving himself. He was thinking about how to steal that money without getting caught. And Emma was going to let him try. Because the moment he touched that $100,000 for personal use, his life as he knew it would be over. The trap was set. Now all she had to do was wait. Tyler didn't wait long. 3 days after Bobby gave him access to the corporate accounts, Emma noticed the first irregularity. She had been checking the company's financial software every morning, using the login credentials Lily had obtained from their father's assistant. Nothing illegal, just a daughter keeping an eye on her family's business. On Thursday morning, she saw it. A transfer of $18,000 to an account she didn't recognize. Her hands trembled as she screenshot the transaction.
Lily, he's moving. Already? It's only been 3 days.
He transferred $18,000 to an unknown account this morning.
Can you trace where it went?
Not yet, but I have the account number.
Send it to me. I'll have my contact at the bank look into it.
Emma hung up and stared at the screen. $18,000. Not enough to raise immediate alarms, but enough to test the waters. Tyler was checking to see if anyone was watching. That evening, he came home with flowers. Red roses, her favorite.
What's the occasion? Emma asked, accepting the bouquet.
Do I need an occasion to spoil my wife?
I suppose not.
Tyler pulled her close and kissed her deeply. Emma forced herself to respond, to play the role of loving wife.
How was work?
She asked when they separated. Good. Great, actually. Your father is giving me more responsibility. I think he's starting to see my potential.
That's wonderful, honey.
I processed some routine transactions today.
Nothing major, just getting familiar with the systems.
Routine transactions, like stealing $18,000. I'm proud of you, Emma said, the words bitter on her tongue. Thanks, baby. This is just the beginning. That night, Tyler disappeared into the bathroom again. Emma pressed her ear against the door.
I sent the first payment, Tyler whispered. 18,000. The rest is coming.
A pause.
I know the deadline. I'll have it. Just give me until Monday.
Another pause.
Yes, I understand what happens if I don't. You don't need to remind me.
He hung up. Emma heard the sound of water running, covering his tracks. She returned to bed and pretended to be asleep when he emerged. Monday. Tyler had until Monday to pay someone. That gave her 4 days to gather more evidence. Friday morning, another transfer appeared. $25,000 this time. Same unknown account. Emma called Lily immediately.
He's accelerating. $25,000 today.
That's $43,000 in 2 days. He's desperate. Someone is pressuring him. Vinny Russo? Maybe. Or someone worse. Lily's voice dropped. Emma, I traced the first account. It belongs to a shell company registered in Nevada. No real owner on file. Money laundering? Looks like it. Tyler isn't just stealing. He's hiding the money. Emma's stomach churned. This was bigger than she had anticipated. What do we do? We stick to the plan. Let him keep digging his grave. But Emma, we need to move faster. If he cleans out the accounts before we act, he won't. I won't let him. That afternoon, Emma made a decision. She needed to confront Derek Manning. She found him at a sports bar near campus, drinking alone. His face went pale when he saw her approach. Emma, what are you doing here? We need to talk. I don't think that's a good idea. Emma sat down across from him. Derek, I know you have a conscience. I saw it at the wedding. You were the only one who couldn't look me in the eye. Derek stared into his beer. That doesn't mean anything. It means everything. You know what Tyler is doing is wrong. You've always known. He's my friend. He's using you, just like he's using me, just like he's using everyone. Derek's jaw tightened. What do you want from me? The truth, all of it. The other women, the debts, the gambling, everything you know. If I tell you, Tyler will destroy me. Tyler is going to prison, Derek. The only question is whether you go with him. Derek looked up sharply. Prison? He's stolen over $40,000 from my family's company in the last 3 days. I have documentation. When my father finds out, he's calling the police. Oh, God. You can either be a witness for the prosecution or a co-conspirator. Your choice. Derek's hands shook as he lifted his beer. He drained it in one long swallow. I need another drink. You need to make a decision. Derek signaled the bartender, then turned back to Emma. If I talk, you have to promise me something. What? That you'll tell the police I cooperated, that I tried to stop him. Did you try to stop him? Derek's silence was answer enough. Tell me everything, Emma said, and I'll do what I can. For the next 2 hours, Derek talked. He told her about Tyler's gambling addiction, how it had started in college with small poker games and grown into something monstrous. He told her about the debts that piled up, the loan sharks who came calling, the desperate schemes Tyler had devised to stay afloat. He told her about Rachel Morrison in Denver, how Tyler had charmed her family for 8 months before her father discovered the truth. He was devastated when that fell apart, Derek said. Not because he loved her, because he was so close to the money. And the others? Same story. Different cities. Tyler finds wealthy families, targets the daughters, makes them fall in love with him. He's good at it. Too good. How many women, Derek? How many has he done this to? Derek looked away. At least 5 that I know of. Maybe more. 5 women. 5 families. 5 lives damaged by Tyler Harrison's greed. Why did you stay friends with him? I don't know. We grew up together. I kept thinking he'd change, that one day he'd wake up and realize what he was doing was wrong. And did he? Derek laughed bitterly. Tyler doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. In his mind, he's just taking what he deserves. These rich families have more than they need. He's redistributing wealth.
That's insane.
That's Tyler. Emma stood up. I need you to write all of this down. Names, dates, everything you remember. And if I don't, then I tell the police you were involved from the beginning, that you helped plan the whole thing. Derek's face crumbled. I didn't help plan anything. Can you prove that? He couldn't. They both knew it. I'll write it down, Derek said quietly. But Emma, be careful. Tyler isn't stupid. If he suspects what you're doing, he won't suspect anything. He thinks I'm too naive to see the truth. Maybe, but he's also paranoid. The pressure is getting to him. Good. Paranoid people make mistakes. Emma left the bar with a new sense of urgency. The clock was ticking. Tyler was stealing faster, the creditors were closing in, and everything was building toward an explosion. She just needed to make sure she controlled when it detonated. Saturday morning, Emma woke to find Tyler already dressed, pacing the bedroom.
Where are you going?
She asked sleepily. I have to meet someone. Business.
On a Saturday?
It can't wait. Emma sat up.
Tyler, what's going on? You've been tense all week.
Nothing. Everything's fine.
You keep saying that, but you look like you haven't slept in days.
Tyler stopped pacing. He looked at her with something she hadn't seen before. Fear. Emma, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me.
Of course.
Do you trust me? The question hung in the air between them.
Why would you ask me that?
Just answer. Do you trust me? Emma held his gaze.
I married you, didn't I?
It wasn't an answer. Tyler seemed to realize that. Things might get complicated soon, he said slowly. There are some issues I'm dealing with, old problems that followed me here.
What kind of problems?
Money problems. Serious ones. This was new. Tyler was actually being partially honest.
How serious?
Serious enough that some bad people are involved. People who don't take no for an answer.
Tyler, you're scaring me.
He crossed the room and took her hands. I'm going to fix it, I promise. I just need you to trust me a little longer.
How can I trust you if you won't tell me what's happening?
Because some things are better if you don't know. It's for your protection. Protection. As if he cared about protecting anyone but himself. I love you, Tyler said. That's the one thing that's true in all of this. Emma almost laughed. Almost. I love you too, she replied. Whatever you're dealing with, we'll face it together. Tyler hugged her tightly. Too tightly. Like a drowning man clutching a life raft. I don't deserve you, he whispered. That's the first honest thing you've ever said. After Tyler left, Emma called Lily. He's meeting someone today. He looked terrified. Probably one of his creditors. The deadline is Monday, remember? What if they do something to him before I can gather all the evidence? Would that be the worst thing? Lily! I'm just saying, if Vinnie Russo's people rough him up a little, maybe it would knock some sense into him. I don't want him hurt. I want him in prison. Fine. What's the plan? I need to find out who he's meeting. Can you track his phone? I can try. Give me an hour. 63 minutes later, Lily called back. He's at a warehouse in East Austin, Industrial District. Can you see who else is there? No, but I ran the address. It's owned by a company called Red River Holdings. Who owns Red River Holdings? That's the interesting part. It's a subsidiary of another company, which is a subsidiary of another company. But at the very top? Vincent Russo. Emma's blood went cold. Tyler was meeting with Russo directly. I'm going there.
Emma, no, that's insanity. I need to see what's happening. You need to stay alive. These are dangerous people. I'll keep my distance. I just want to observe. Emma. She hung up before Lily could argue further. The warehouse district was quiet on Saturday afternoon. Emma parked 2 blocks away and approached on foot, staying behind buildings and abandoned vehicles. She found Tyler's car parked outside a rusted metal structure. 2 other vehicles sat nearby, black SUVs with tinted windows. Emma crept closer, pressing herself against the corrugated wall. Through a gap in the metal, she could see inside. Tyler stood in the center of the space, surrounded by 3 men. Vinnie Russo she recognized. The other 2 were younger, bigger, clearly muscle. Monday, Russo was saying. You have until Monday. I told you I'd have the money. I just need a few more days. You've been saying that for 6 months, Tyler. My patience is gone. I have access to the accounts now. I can get everything I owe you. You said that before the wedding, too, and here we are. One of the larger men stepped forward. Tyler flinched. Please, I'm so close. The old man trusts me. I just need to move a larger amount without raising suspicion. How much have you taken so far? 43,000. Russo laughed. You owe me 400. 43 doesn't even cover the interest. I know, but I can get more. Much more. Give me until Wednesday.
Monday. Wednesday, please. I'll have 200,000 by Wednesday. Russo considered this. 200,000 by Wednesday. And the rest? By the end of the month. The end of the month. Russo looked at his men. What do you think, boys? Should we give Tyler here another chance? The larger man cracked his knuckles. I think he's been given too many chances already. I agree. Russo stepped closer to Tyler. But I'm a businessman. I understand that sometimes investments take time to mature. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't thank me yet. Russo's voice hardened. Wednesday, 200,000. If you're short by even $1, my associates will visit your new wife. And they won't be as polite as I am. Tyler's face went white. Leave Emma out of this. You brought Emma into this the moment you married her. Her family's money is now your money, and your debts are now her debts. She doesn't know anything about this. Then I suggest you keep it that way, because if she finds out and tries to interfere... Russo smiled coldly. Well, let's just say things would get very unpleasant. Emma's heart pounded so hard she was sure they could hear it. She pressed herself flatter against the wall, barely breathing. Wednesday, Russo repeated. Don't disappoint me, Tyler. The meeting ended. Emma watched Tyler stumble to his car, his hands shaking so badly he could barely get the key in the ignition. She waited until all the vehicles had left before emerging from her hiding spot. Her phone buzzed. Lily. Are you okay? I've been tracking your location. You were at the warehouse for 20 minutes. I'm fine. I heard everything. And? Tyler has until Wednesday to pay $200,000, or they're coming after me. The silence on the other end stretched for a long moment. Emma, this changes everything. You need to go to the police. Not yet. They threatened you directly, which means Tyler is going to move fast. Really fast. He's going to try to steal $200,000 in the next 4 days. And that's a good thing? It's the evidence I need. Wire fraud, embezzlement, theft over 100,000. He's looking at 10 to 15 years minimum. Emma, listen to yourself. You're gambling with your life. I'm making sure a man who has destroyed multiple families finally faces justice. It's worth the risk. Is it? Is it really?
Emma thought about Rachel Morrison in Denver, about the woman in Phoenix, about San Diego, about all the victims Tyler had left in his wake. Yes, it's worth it. Tyler came home that evening looking like a dead man walking. His face was gray, his movements mechanical. "How was your meeting?" Emma asked innocently. "Fine." "You don't look fine." "Just tired." She let it go. Pushed too hard, and he might suspect something. They ate dinner in silence. Tyler barely touched his food. His phone kept buzzing with messages he wouldn't show her. "Tyler, talk to me. Whatever's going on, maybe I can help." He looked at her with hollow eyes. "You can't help with this." "Try me." "Emma, some things are beyond help. Some holes are too deep to climb out of." "That sounds like someone who's given up." "Maybe I have." Emma reached across the table and took his hand. "The Tyler I married never gave up on anything." "The Tyler you married doesn't exist," she wanted to say. "I don't know what I'd do without you," Tyler said quietly. "You're the only good thing in my life." "Then let me in. Whatever you're facing, we can face it together." Tyler was quiet for a long moment. Emma could see the war playing out behind his eyes. The desire to confess, fighting against the need to maintain the lie. The lie won. "It's nothing, baby. Just work stress. It'll pass." More lies. More deception. But Emma had expected nothing less. Sunday, Tyler left early and didn't come back until after midnight. Emma didn't ask where he'd been. She didn't need to. Monday morning, she checked the company accounts. Her blood froze. $75,000 had been transferred overnight. A separate transaction showed another $60,000 pending. Tyler was making his move. She called her father. "Dad, I need to see you. Now!" "Emma, what's wrong?" "I'll explain everything when I get there. Don't let Tyler know I'm coming." "Tyler? What does he have to do with—" "Please, Dad, trust me." 20 minutes later, Emma sat in her father's office. The folder of evidence spread across his desk. Bank records, Derek's written statement, Lily's research, screenshots of every suspicious transaction. Bobby Blackwell's face aged 10 years as he read through it all. "This can't be true," he said finally. "I wish it wasn't." "He's been stealing from us? Since when?" "The first transfer was Thursday. 43,000 so far, with another 135 pending." $135,000? He owes money to dangerous people, Dad. Loan sharks, underground gambling operations. He married me to get access to your accounts. Bobby was silent for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice cracked. "I trusted him. I welcomed him into our family. I was going to make him a partner." "I know." "He sat at our dinner table. He held your mother's hand at church. He called me Dad." "I know." Bobby looked at his daughter with wet eyes. "How long have you known?" "Since the wedding. I overheard him talking about his plan right before the ceremony." "And you still married him?" "I needed evidence, enough to send him to prison so he could never do this to anyone else." Bobby shook his head slowly. "My brave, stupid, brilliant daughter." "Dad, you should have come to me immediately. You should have trusted me." "I was trying to protect you."
"Protect me?" Bobby slammed his palm on the desk. "I'm your father. It's my job to protect you."
"And what would you have done? Confronted him?" "He would have denied everything. It would have been his word against mine."
"I would have believed you."
"I know, but the law doesn't work on belief. It works on evidence. And now I have enough evidence to put Tyler Harrison away for a decade." Bobby stared at the papers on his desk. The bank records, the witness statements, the documentation of Tyler's criminal history. "What do you want to do?" he asked finally. "I want to let the pending transfers go through. Another $135,000. Combined with what he's already stolen, that's almost $200,000 in documented theft." "And then?" "Then we call the police, and we watch him lose everything." Bobby was quiet for a long moment. "Your mother can never know how close we came to losing everything."
She won't. And the money? Can we recover it? Some of it. The rest, Emma shrugged. Consider it the cost of exposing a predator. Bobby stood up and walked to the window. He looked out at the city he had built his empire in, the city where his daughter had almost been destroyed by a con man. "Do it," he said. "Let the transfers go through, and then we burn him to the ground." Emma felt a wave of relief wash over her. Her father was on board. The trap was almost complete. "There's one more thing," she said. "What?" "The people Tyler owes money to. They threatened me. Said if he doesn't pay by Wednesday, they'll come after me." Bobby turned sharply. "What?" "I was followed to a meeting. I heard everything." "Emma, why didn't you lead with that?" "Because it doesn't change anything. Tyler is going to steal the money. He's going to try to pay them off. And when he does, we'll have him on federal wire fraud charges." And what about these criminals? What happens when they don't get paid? They will get paid, by Tyler, with stolen money, which means they become accessories to the crime. Bobby stared at his daughter with something like awe. "You thought of everything." "I had 3 weeks to plan while my husband thought I was too naive to notice anything." "Remind me never to underestimate you." "That's what Tyler said. Right before I destroyed his life." Tuesday morning arrived with a phone call that changed everything. Emma was preparing coffee when her cell buzzed. Unknown number. "Mrs. Harrison?" The voice was cold, professional, not Vinnie Russo. "Who is this?" "A friend of your husband's creditors. We understand he's having difficulty meeting his obligations." Emma's hand tightened on the phone. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Please don't insult my intelligence. We know exactly what Tyler has been doing. The transfers from your father's company. The shell accounts in Nevada. All of it." "What do you want?" "To offer you a choice. Tyler owes multiple parties a combined total of $842,000. You can pay that amount directly to us, and this all goes away. Or you can continue with whatever game you're playing, and things get very unpleasant." Emma forced herself to breathe. "I need time to think." "You have until 5 o'clock this afternoon. After that, the offer expires." "And Mrs. Harrison?" "Yes?" "Don't involve the police. That would be extremely unwise." The line went dead. Emma stood frozen in the kitchen, her mind racing. Someone was watching. Someone knew about her plan. She called Lily. "They know. Someone called me. They know about the transfers, the shell accounts, everything." "Who called?" "I don't know. Not Russo. Someone else." "Emma, you need to get out of there." "I can't run. If I run, Tyler wins. All those women he hurt get nothing." "If you stay, you might get killed." "I'm not going to get killed. I'm going to end this. Today." "Today? The plan was to wait until Wednesday." "The plan changed. Tyler has stolen almost $200,000. That's enough for federal charges. I'm calling the police this afternoon." "What about the people who threatened you?" "Once Tyler is arrested, they lose their leverage. He can't pay them if he's in custody." "That's not how criminals think, Emma. They'll want their money regardless."
Then I'll deal with that when it comes. Right now, I need to focus on Tyler. She hung up and immediately called her father. Dad, we need to move up the timeline. What happened? Someone called me. They know everything. We have until 5 o'clock before things escalate. Bobby cursed under his breath. I'll call Detective Morrison. He owes me a favor. Make sure they understand the scope of this. Wire fraud, embezzlement, criminal conspiracy.
Tyler needs to be arrested at the company, in front of witnesses. Why witnesses? Because I want everyone to see who he really is. 2 hours later, Emma received a text from Tyler. Hey baby, running late at the office. Your dad wants me to handle some urgent transfers. Might be a late night. Emma's stomach turned. Tyler was stealing more money, right now, thinking he was getting away with it. No problem. I'll keep dinner warm. She added a heart emoji. The performance had to continue until the very end. At 3 o'clock, Lily called. The police are ready. They'll execute the arrest at 4:30. Good. I want to be there. Emma, I don't think that's a good idea. I need to see his face. I need him to know that I did this. This isn't about revenge. No, it's about justice. But I'm not going to pretend that watching him fall won't feel good. At 4 o'clock, Emma drove to her father's company. Her hands were steady on the wheel. Her heart was calm. 3 weeks of planning. 3 weeks of playing the naive wife. 3 weeks of watching her husband lie to her face every single day. It was finally over. She parked in the visitor lot and walked toward the main entrance. 2 unmarked police cars sat nearby, waiting. Bobby met her in the lobby. Are you sure about this? I've never been more sure of anything. He's in my office. Still thinks I'm authorizing more transfers. How much has he taken today? Another $75,000. Total now stands at $213,000. Emma nodded. More than enough. The police are ready, Bobby said. They'll come in through the back entrance in 10 minutes. I want to talk to him first. Emma, 5 minutes, Dad. That's all I need. Bobby hesitated, then nodded. 5 minutes. Then I'm sending them in regardless. Emma walked through the familiar hallways of her father's company, past the reception desk where she had visited as a child, past the break room where employees have congratulated her on her wedding, past the conference room where Tyler had pitched his fraudulent expansion plans. She stopped outside her father's office. Through the glass, she could see Tyler hunched over the computer, typing frantically. She pushed open the door. Tyler looked up, startled. Emma? What are you doing here? I came to see my husband. I'm kind of in the middle of something. Can it wait? No, it can't. Something in her tone made Tyler pause. He studied her face, and for the first time, Emma let the mask slip. What's going on? Tyler asked slowly. I know, Tyler. Know what? Everything. The gambling debts, Vinnie Russo, the shell companies in Nevada, the women in Denver and Phoenix and San Diego. Tyler's face went white. Emma, I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't insult me, not anymore. Who told you these things? Was it Derek? I'll kill him. Derek confirmed what I already knew. What I've known since the morning of our wedding. Tyler stood up slowly. The morning of our wedding? I heard you, Tyler, in the sacristy. You and Connor and Derek, laughing about how easy it would be to steal from my family. How naive I was. How I would never suspect anything. The color drained completely from Tyler's face. Emma, let me explain. Explain what? How you planned this for 2 years? How you spilled coffee on me at that gala, just like you spilled champagne on Rachel Morrison? How many women have you done this to, Tyler? How many families have you destroyed? Tyler's mouth opened and closed. No words came out. I gave you every opportunity to be honest, Emma continued.
every chance to come clean. Instead, you lied. Every single day. You looked me in the eyes and told me you loved me while you were stealing my family's money. I do love you. Don't. Emma's voice cracked. Don't you dare say that to me. Emma, please, I was desperate.
These people, they were going to kill me. I didn't have a choice. You had a choice. You chose to make me a victim instead of asking for help. Tyler stepped toward her. Emma stepped back. Don't come near me. Baby, please, we can fix this. We can figure something out. There's nothing to fix. It's over. What do you mean, over? Emma looked at her watch. In about 3 minutes, the police are going to walk through that door and arrest you for wire fraud, embezzlement, and theft. You're looking at 15 to 20 years in federal prison. Tyler's legs buckled. He grabbed the desk for support. You can't do this. Emma, please. I'll give the money back, all of it. I'll confess everything to your father. Just don't let them take me. It's too late for that. No, it's not too late. We can still... The door burst open. 4 uniformed officers rushed in, followed by 2 detectives. Tyler Harrison, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Tyler's eyes never left Emma's face as they handcuffed him. You did this, he said. You planned this whole thing. Yes. You married me just to destroy me. No. I married you because I loved you. I destroyed you because you deserved it. The officers began pulling Tyler toward the door. Emma, wait, please. I need to tell you something. There's nothing you can say that I want to hear. It's about Russo. His people. They're not going to stop just because I'm arrested. They'll come after you, after your family. Let me worry about that. Emma! Tyler was screaming now, struggling against the officers. You don't understand. These people don't forgive debts. They'll kill you. Emma! The door closed behind him. His screams faded down the hallway. Emma stood alone in her father's office, surrounded by the evidence of her husband's crimes. Her legs finally gave out. She sank into a chair and let the tears come. Not tears of sadness, tears of relief, tears of exhaustion, tears of finally being free. Bobby found her there 10 minutes later. It's done, he said quietly. They're taking him downtown for processing. Good. Emma, honey, are you okay? She looked up at her father with red-rimmed eyes. I will be. Eventually. Bobby knelt beside her chair and took her hands. I am so proud of you, and so sorry that you had to go through this. It's not your fault. I should have investigated him more thoroughly. I should have protected you. You couldn't have known, Dad. Tyler is a professional. He's been doing this for years. That doesn't make me feel better. Emma squeezed his hands. It's over now. That's all that matters. But it wasn't over. Not completely. At 7 o'clock that evening, Emma's phone rang. Unknown number. Mrs. Harrison, or should I say, Miss Blackwell. We're impressed. The same cold voice from that morning. What do you want? Tyler Harrison is now in police custody, which means he can no longer pay his debts. Those debts now fall to you. I didn't co-sign anything. His debts are his own. That's not how we see it. You married him. His obligations became your obligations. That's not how the law works. We don't operate under the law, Miss Blackwell. We operate under a different set of rules. $842,000. You have 1 week. And if I don't pay, then your father's restaurants start having accidents, kitchen fires, health code violations.
Maybe something happens to your sister at that law school she attends. Emma's blood ran cold. If you touch my family. 1 week, Miss Blackwell. After that, things get very unpleasant. The line went dead. Emma immediately called Lily. They called again. They're threatening you. They're threatening Dad's restaurants. They want the full amount Tyler owed.
How much? Over $800,000. Lily was silent for a long moment.
What are we going to do?
I don't know, but I'm not paying them. I refuse to give these criminals a single dollar.
Emma, these aren't people you can refuse. They'll follow through on their threats.
Then we go to the police. Tell them everything.
The police can't protect us from people like this. They'll just wait until the heat dies down and then strike.
Emma paced her apartment, her mind racing. There had to be a solution. Some way out of this that didn't involve paying nearly $1 million to criminals. Then it hit her.
Russo, she said.
What about him?
I made a deal with him before. He agreed to help me in exchange for Tyler's debt being paid.
But you didn't pay him.
No, but I have something better than money. Information.
Emma hung up and scrolled through her contacts until she found the number Russo had given her. He answered on the third ring. Miss Blackwell, I heard about your husband's arrest. Very impressive work.
We need to talk.
I was wondering when you'd call.
Someone is threatening my family. They say Tyler owed them money, and now it's my responsibility.
Ah, you've met our mutual friends.
Who are they?
Competitors. People who run similar operations to mine. Tyler was foolish enough to borrow from multiple sources.
Can you stop them?
Russo laughed softly. Why would I do that?
Because I have something you want.
And what might that be?
Tyler gave a full confession when he was arrested. Names, dates, amounts, every criminal he's ever dealt with, including you.
There was a long pause on the other end. That would be very unfortunate for everyone involved.
It would, unless someone convinced the police that Tyler's confession was unreliable. The ramblings of a desperate man trying to reduce his sentence.
And how would that happen?
I testify that Tyler was mentally unstable,
that he made up names and connections to make himself seem more important. The confession gets thrown out. Everyone walks away clean.
Except Tyler.
Tyler goes to prison regardless. He stole $200,000. That's documented. Everything else becomes hearsay. Russo was quiet for a long moment.
What do you want in exchange?
Call off your competitors. Make sure they understand that the Blackwell family is off limits. Forever.
That's a big ask.
I'm offering a big reward. Your name stays out of a federal investigation. Your operation continues uninterrupted. All you have to do is make one phone call.
And if I refuse?
Then I make sure the FBI gets a copy of Tyler's full confession. Every name, every transaction, every illegal gambling operation he's ever been involved with. The silence stretched for nearly a minute.
You're a remarkable woman, Miss Blackwell. I'm a survivor, Mr. Russo. There's a difference.
I'll make the call, but understand something. This is a one-time courtesy. If you ever try to use this leverage again, I won't. Once this is over, I never want to hear from any of you again. Fair enough. Give me 24 hours. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just stay out of my world. You don't belong here. He hung up. Emma collapsed onto her sofa, shaking with exhaustion and relief. 24 hours. Then this nightmare would truly be over. The next day passed in agonizing slowness. Emma jumped at every phone call, every knock on the door. Lily stayed with her,
refusing to leave her sister alone. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Emma's phone rang. Unknown number. Her heart stopped. "Miss Blackwell." A different voice this time. Warmer. "Yes?" "This is Marcus. I work with the people who contacted you yesterday. I'm calling to inform you that your account has been settled." "Settled?" "Mr. Russo spoke with our organization. He explained the situation.
We've agreed to write off the Harrison debt as a business loss." Emma couldn't believe what she was hearing.
Just like that?
Mr. Russo can be very persuasive when he wants to be. You won't be hearing from us again. I apologize for any distress we caused.
The line went dead. Emma stared at her phone in disbelief. "What happened?" Lily demanded. "It's over. They're backing off. Russo made them stand down." "How?" "I don't know exactly, and I don't want to know." Lily hugged her fiercely. "It's really over? It's really over." That night, Emma slept for the first time in weeks. Deep, dreamless sleep. The sleep of someone who had walked through fire and emerged on the other side. The following week was a blur of legal proceedings. Tyler was formally charged with wire fraud, embezzlement, and theft over $100,000. His bail was set at $500,000. No one paid it. Connor Walsh turned state's witness in exchange for reduced charges.
He provided testimony about Tyler's previous schemes, corroborating everything Derek had already revealed. Derek Manning cooperated fully with investigators. His detailed statement helped establish a pattern of criminal behavior stretching back 5 years. Rachel Morrison flew in from Denver to testify. So did the woman from Phoenix and San Diego. 4 victims, all telling the same story. A charming man who targeted wealthy families. A calculated scheme to steal through marriage. A trail of broken hearts and empty bank accounts. Emma filed for divorce the day after Tyler's arraignment. The judge granted an expedited annulment based on fraud. In the eyes of the law, the marriage had never existed. 2 weeks after the arrest, Emma received a letter from Tyler. She almost threw it away unopened, but something made her read it. "Emma, I know you probably hate me. You have every right to. I've spent my whole life lying to people, taking what I wanted without caring who I hurt. You're the first person who ever saw through me, the first one who fought back. I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. But I want you to know that somewhere, underneath all the lies, there was something real. I did care about you. Maybe that's the closest thing to love I'm capable of. Tyler." Emma read the letter 3 times. Then she fed it through the shredder. She didn't need his words. She didn't need his excuses. She didn't need anything from Tyler Harrison ever again. The trial date was set for October. The prosecutor estimated Tyler would receive 10 to 15 years, possibly more with his history. Justice, delayed but not denied. Emma threw herself into work. She had always helped with marketing for her father's restaurants, but now she took on more responsibility. Updating the website, managing social media, building the brand for a new generation. Bobby watched his daughter with quiet pride. "You know," he said one afternoon, "I always thought you'd end up running this company someday. Maybe I will. I'd like that. There's no one I trust more." 1 month after Tyler's arrest, Emma was sitting in her favorite coffee shop when a man accidentally bumped her table, spilling her latte. "Oh God, I'm so sorry," he said, grabbing napkins to clean up the mess. "I'm such a klutz. Please, let me buy you another one." Emma looked up at him. Attractive, well-dressed, charming smile. Exactly Tyler's type. "No, thank you," she said flatly. The man blinked, clearly not used to rejection. "Are you sure?"
It's the least I can do. I'm sure. She gathered her things and left, leaving the man standing alone with a handful of soggy napkins. Some lessons, once learned, are never forgotten. 6 months passed like water through open hands. Emma Blackwell found a rhythm to her days that felt almost normal. Work at the restaurant empire. Dinner with her parents on Sundays.
Coffee with Lily on Wednesdays. A life rebuilt from the ashes of betrayal. The trial came in October, just as the prosecutor had promised. Emma sat in the front row of the courtroom, watching Tyler Harrison face the consequences of his choices. He looked different now, thinner, older. The charm that had once captivated her seemed to have evaporated, leaving behind something hollow and desperate. The prosecution called witness after witness. Rachel Morrison testified about the Denver scheme. Sarah Chen from Phoenix. Maria Santos from San Diego. Each woman told the same story. A charming man, a whirlwind romance, a devastating betrayal. When it was Emma's turn to testify, she walked to the witness stand with her head high. "Miss Blackwell," the prosecutor began, "can you describe the moment you first realized Tyler Harrison's true intentions?" Emma looked directly at Tyler. He couldn't meet her eyes. "It was the morning of our wedding. I was in the sacristy of St. Michael's Cathedral, adjusting my veil. I heard voices in the hallway. Tyler was talking to his groomsmen about how he had spent 2 years planning to marry me for my family's money." "And what did you do with that information?" "I married him anyway." A murmur rippled through the courtroom. "Why?" "Because I knew that if I simply called off the wedding, he would move on to his next victim. He had done it before. He would do it again. The only way to stop him was to gather enough evidence to put him in prison." "So you spent 3 weeks pretending to be a loving wife while he stole from your family?" "Yes." "That must have been incredibly difficult." Emma paused. "It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Sleeping next to someone who sees you as nothing more than a bank account, smiling when you want to scream, saying I love you when every word feels like swallowing broken glass." "Why didn't you go to the police immediately?" "Because I needed proof, not suspicions." Not hearsay. Documented evidence that would hold up in court. Tyler Harrison has been doing this for years. He's escaped justice every time because his victims were too ashamed or too afraid to fight back. I wasn't going to let that happen again. The defense attorney tried to paint Emma as vindictive, a scorned woman seeking revenge. But the evidence was overwhelming. Bank records, wire transfers, shell companies, witness testimonies from 5 separate victims. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Tyler was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison. The judge added an additional 3 years for his previous victims, bringing the total to 15. As the bailiffs led him away, Tyler turned to look at Emma one last time. "I hope it was worth it," he said. "Every second," she replied. The courtroom doors closed behind him. Emma felt something release in her chest, a tension she had carried for so long she had forgotten it was there. It was finally, truly over. Outside the courthouse, a crowd of reporters had gathered. Emma pushed through them without speaking, Lily on one side and Bobby on the other. "Miss Blackwell, how does it feel to see your ex-husband sentenced to prison?" "Miss Blackwell, do you have any message for his other victims?" "Miss Blackwell, will you write a book about your experience?" Emma stopped at the last question. She turned to face the reporter. "I don't know about a book, but I do have a message for anyone who's ever been taken advantage of by someone they trusted." The reporters went silent, cameras flashing. "Fight back. It doesn't matter if people tell you it's too hard, too dangerous, too complicated. Fight back. Because predators count on their victims being too scared or too ashamed to stand up.
They rely on silence, on shame, on the fear of not being believed. Emma looked directly into the nearest camera. I believed in Tyler Harrison. I trusted him with my heart and my family's future. And he used that trust to try to destroy everything I loved. But he underestimated me, just like he underestimated every woman who came before me. And that was his biggest mistake. She turned and walked to her father's car, leaving the reporters behind. In the car, Bobby squeezed her hand. That was brave, Princess. It was honest. There's a difference. Life moved forward, as it always does. Emma threw herself into expanding the Blackwell restaurant empire. She had ideas, modern marketing strategies, social media campaigns, partnership opportunities that Bobby had never considered. Within a year, they had opened 2 new locations. Within 2 years, 5 more. The Blackwell barbecue brand was becoming a Texas institution. But Emma's personal life remained quiet. She dated occasionally. Nice men, successful men, men who seemed genuine and kind. She couldn't bring herself to trust any of them. "You're going to end up alone if you keep pushing everyone away," Lily said one evening over wine. "Better alone than betrayed." "Not everyone is Tyler." "I know that intellectually, but every time someone gets close, I hear his voice in my head, laughing about how naive I was, planning how to use me." "Emma, you can't let him win. He's in prison for 15 years. I'd say I won." "Did you? Or did you just survive?" The question haunted Emma for weeks. She started seeing a therapist, Dr. Patricia Reyes, a specialist in trauma and relationship abuse. Their sessions were brutal at first, digging into wounds Emma had tried to ignore. "You've built walls around yourself," Dr. Reyes observed during their 3rd session. "Impressive walls, strategic walls, but walls nonetheless. The walls kept me safe. They also keep you isolated." "I prefer isolated to vulnerable." "Do you? Or is that just what you tell yourself?" Emma didn't have an answer. The breakthrough came 6 months into therapy. Dr. Reyes asked a simple question that cracked something open inside Emma. "When was the last time you let someone see the real you?" Emma thought about it. Really thought about it. "I don't know. Before Tyler, I guess. Before I learned that showing someone your true self just gives them ammunition to hurt you." "And what about after Tyler? Have you shown anyone the real Emma Blackwell?" "My family. Lily. My dad." "Anyone else?" Silence. "What about friends, colleagues, people outside your inner circle?" "I keep professional distance. It's safer." Safer. That word comes up a lot in our sessions. Is that wrong? It's understandable. But Emma, there's a difference between being cautious and being closed off, between protecting yourself and imprisoning yourself. Emma left that session feeling raw and exposed, but also, for the first time in years, hopeful. Change didn't come overnight, but it came. She started saying yes to social invitations she would have declined before. Office happy hours, industry networking events, a charity gala for the Austin Food Bank. At the gala, she met a man named Matthew Campbell. He wasn't her type, at least not the type she thought she had. He wasn't polished or sophisticated. His suit was slightly too big. His haircut was uneven. He laughed too loudly at his own jokes. But when he accidentally stepped on her foot while reaching for a canapé, his apology was so genuine, so mortified, so utterly lacking in charm, that Emma found herself smiling. "I am so sorry. I have 2 left feet, literally. I think it's a medical condition." "I doubt that's a real medical condition." "It should be. I would get a diagnosis and a parking placard and everything." Emma laughed. A real laugh. The first one in longer than she could remember. "I'm Matthew. Matt. People call me Matt. Except my mom. She calls me Matthew when she's disappointed, which is often."
I'm Emma. Emma. That's a beautiful name. Classic. Timeless. Like a Jane Austen character, but without the consumption. I don't think Jane Austen characters died of consumption. See? I'm already learning from you. This is the most educational conversation I've had all night. They talked for 2 hours. About nothing important. About everything important. About his work as a veterinarian. About her family's restaurants. About the inherent superiority of Texas barbecue over all other regional variations. At the end of the night, Matt asked for her number. Emma hesitated, old fears rising. "I should warn you," she said. "I have trust issues." "Don't we all?" "No, I mean serious trust issues, therapy-level trust issues. My last relationship ended with a federal prison sentence." Matt blinked. "For you or for him?" "Him." "Okay, that sounds like a story." "It's a long story." "I have time. I have nothing but time. I'm a veterinarian. My most demanding patients are golden retrievers." Emma laughed again. That feeling in her chest, the one she had closed off for so long, began to thaw. "Okay," she said, "but I'm warning you. It's not a pretty story. The best stories never are." Their first date was at a small Italian restaurant. Emma told him everything. The wedding, the sacristy, the plan, the arrest, the trial. Matt listened without interrupting. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "That," he said finally, "is the most badass thing I've ever heard." "Badass?" "You heard your fiancé confessing that he was going to steal from your family, and instead of running away, you married him, gathered evidence, and sent him to prison. That's superhero-level strategic thinking." "I don't feel like a superhero." "Heroes never do. That's kind of the point." Emma felt something shift inside her. Not the walls coming down, not yet, but a window opening, a crack of light where there had only been darkness. They dated slowly. Matt never pushed, never demanded more than she was ready to give. When she needed space, he gave her space. When she needed reassurance, he offered it freely. "I'm not good at this," Emma admitted one evening, 6 months into the relationship. "At what?" "Being vulnerable, letting someone in. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop." Matt took her hands in his. "Emma, I'm not Tyler. I'm never going to be Tyler. I couldn't con my way out of a paper bag. I once tried to negotiate the price of a hot dog at a baseball game. The vendor laughed at me for 5 minutes. That's not the same thing. I know. But here's what I can promise you. I will never lie to you. I will never use you. And I will never, ever make you feel like loving me was a mistake." "How do you know you can keep that promise?" "Because I've seen what dishonesty does to people. I've seen it in you. The wariness, the fear, the way you hold yourself back even when you want to jump in. And I never want to be the reason someone feels that way." Emma looked into his eyes, searching for the deception she had learned to expect, the hidden agenda, the calculated charm. She found nothing but sincerity. "I'm going to try," she said. "I can't promise more than that." "Trying is all I've ever asked for." 1 year after they met, Matt proposed. Not at a fancy restaurant, not with a choreographed surprise. He asked her in the parking lot of his veterinary clinic, surrounded by the smell of dog shampoo and antiseptic. "I know this isn't romantic," he said, fumbling with the ring box. "But I've been carrying this thing around for 3 weeks, waiting for the perfect moment. And I finally realized there's no such thing. So here, in this parking lot, with cat hair on my scrubs.
Will you marry me? Emma looked at the ring. Simple, modest. Nothing like the ostentatious diamond Tyler had given her. Yes, she said.
Matt's face lit up like a sunrise.
Really? You're not just saying that because you feel sorry for me. I'm saying it because I love you, and because you're the first person in years who's made me feel safe being myself. They married 6 months later. A small ceremony. Family and close friends only. No cathedral. No 200 guests. No $12,000 dress. Emma wore a simple white sundress. Matt wore a blue suit that actually fit this time. They exchanged vows in her parents' backyard, under a canopy of string lights. Bobby walked her down the makeshift aisle with tears in his eyes. "This one's different," he whispered. "I know, Dad. You deserve this. You deserve to be happy." I'm starting to believe that. When Emma said her vows, she didn't make grand promises about forever. She made simple ones about today. Matt, I promise to be honest with you, even when it's hard. I promise to trust you, even when I'm scared.
And I promise to choose you every day for as long as we have together. Matt's vows were equally simple. Emma, I promise to never make you regret letting me in. I promise to earn your trust, not take it for granted. And I promise to always be the person you can count on, even when the world lets you down. They kissed under the string lights while their families cheered. It wasn't a fairy tale. Fairy tales were for people who hadn't learned that happily ever after takes work. But it was real. And real, Emma had learned, was worth more than any fantasy. 3 years into the marriage, Emma received unexpected news. Tyler Harrison had been granted early release. Good behavior. Time served. He was getting out after only 8 years. The news hit her like a physical blow. "He can't contact you," Lily assured her. "There's a restraining order. If he comes anywhere near you, he goes right back to prison." "I know, it's not that." Then what? I spent so long building my life around what he did to me. First surviving it, then fighting back, then recovering from it. And now he's just going to walk out of prison and move on with his life like nothing happened? He's a registered felon. He'll never work in finance again. His name is all over the internet connected to fraud. His life is ruined. Is it? Or will he find another victim? Another woman who doesn't know what he is? Lily was quiet for a moment. Is that what you're really afraid of? Emma nodded slowly. I stopped him once, but I can't stop him forever. You don't have to. You already did more than anyone else was willing to do. The rest isn't your responsibility. Then why does it feel like it is? That night, Emma told Matt about Tyler's release. How do you feel? He asked. Scared? Angry? Guilty? Guilty? Why guilty? Because part of me hoped he would stay in prison forever, and another part of me knows that's not justice. That's revenge. There's nothing wrong with wanting someone who hurt you to face consequences. But where does it end? He served his time. Legally, he's paid his debt. But it doesn't feel like enough. Matt pulled her close. Maybe it's not about what he does next. Maybe it's about what you do. What do you mean? You can't control Tyler. You never could. But you can control how much space he takes up in your head, in your life, in your heart. Emma thought about this for a long time. You're right, she said finally. He's taken enough from me. I'm not giving him any more. The next morning, Emma made a decision. She would use her experience to help others. She reached out to women's advocacy groups, shared her story at conferences, worked with prosecutors to help identify warning signs of romance fraud. Her testimony helped convict 2 other con men in Texas alone. Her advocacy led to stricter sentencing guidelines for financial crimes involving romantic deception. She couldn't save everyone, but she could make a difference. 5 years after her wedding to Matt, Emma became a mother. A daughter. Grace Patricia Campbell, named for Emma's grandmother and Matt's mother. Holding her daughter for the first time, Emma felt something she had never expected to feel again. Pure, uncomplicated love. The kind of love that didn't require walls, or strategies, or plans. "She's perfect," Matt whispered. "She is. I hope she has your strength. And your kindness. I hope she never has to be as strong as I was. We'll protect her. Both of us." Emma looked at her husband, this good man who had seen her at her most guarded and loved her anyway. She looked at her daughter, this tiny miracle who represented everything she had fought to build. "Yes," she said, "we will." One morning, when Grace was 3 years old, Emma took her to the same coffee shop where she had rejected the stranger years ago. They sat at a small table, sharing a muffin and watching the world go by. A man approached, mid-30s, attractive, expensive watch, practiced smile. "Excuse me, I couldn't help noticing you're sitting alone. Well, not alone, with this little princess. Can I buy you both something?" Emma looked at him, studied his too-perfect posture, his rehearsed casualness, the way his eyes flicked to her wedding ring. "No, thank you," she said politely. "Are you sure? I just thought—" "I'm sure. Have a nice day." The man's smile faltered. He wasn't used to rejection. They never were. He walked away, already scanning the room for his next target. Grace tugged at Emma's sleeve. "Mommy, why didn't you want the man to buy us something?" Emma knelt down to her daughter's level. "Because, sweetie, sometimes people offer you things not because they want to be nice, but because they want something from you. And it's important to know the difference." "How do you know the difference?" Emma smiled. "That's something I'll teach you, when you're ready." Grace nodded seriously, accepting this wisdom with the gravity only a 3-year-old could muster. They finished their muffin and walked out into the Austin sunshine. Emma held her daughter's hand and thought about the journey that had brought her here. The betrayal, the revenge, the healing, the love. Tyler Harrison had tried to destroy her. Instead, he had forged her into someone stronger, someone wiser, someone capable of recognizing the difference between a snake in the grass and a hand reaching out in genuine connection. She had lost her innocence, but she had gained something more valuable. The knowledge that she could survive anything, that she could protect the people she loved, that she could build a life worth living, even from the ashes of deception. That evening, after putting Grace to bed, Emma sat on the back porch with Matt, watching the stars come out over Austin. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. "How different my life is from what I imagined it would be." "Good different or bad different?" "Just different. When I was walking down that aisle toward Tyler, I thought I knew exactly what my future looked like. I was so wrong." "Do you regret any of it?" Emma considered the question carefully. "I regret trusting the wrong person. I regret the pain it caused my family. But I don't regret how I handled it, and I definitely don't regret where it led me." She took Matt's hand. "Every terrible thing Tyler did, every lie he told, every moment I spent planning his downfall, it all led me here, to you, to Grace, to this life." "So you're saying I should thank Tyler Harrison for being a criminal mastermind?" Emma laughed. "Definitely not. But I am saying that sometimes the worst things that happen to us become the foundation for the best things." Matt squeezed her hand. "I love you, Emma Blackwell Campbell." "I love you too, Matthew Campbell." They sat in comfortable silence, watching the Texas night sky. Emma thought about the woman she had been on her wedding day. Devastated, betrayed, determined to fight back at any cost. That woman had been driven by anger, by a desperate need for justice. The woman she had become was different,
still strong, still fierce when necessary, but also open, loving, capable of trust. Tyler Harrison had wanted to steal everything from her: her money, her family's legacy, her faith in humanity. He had failed. Emma Blackwell had won. Not just the legal battle, not just the courtroom victory. She had won the war for her own soul. She had refused to let betrayal define her, refused to let fear control her,
refused to become the bitter, isolated person that trauma had tried to make her. She had chosen love over suspicion, connection over isolation, hope over cynicism. And in the end, that choice had given her everything Tyler had tried to take away: a loving husband, a beautiful daughter, a thriving business, a life filled with purpose and meaning. Emma smiled into the darkness. She had walked into a trap and walked out a conqueror. She had been underestimated by a man who thought charm could defeat character. And she had proven, once and for all, that the most dangerous person in any room is the one everyone assumes is too naive to fight back. Emma Blackwell had survived betrayal, orchestrated justice, and built a life more beautiful than any con man could imagine. And that was a victory no one could ever take away.